guys, it's Twintuitive717. I'm back with another video. So today I wanted to share a quick reading with you guys about the masculine energy and why some of them might be silent at this time, or if you're communicating with your counterpart and then the next minute it just goes cold, or they go silent, or they disappear from the connection, or so it feels. I wanted to explain a little bit more about why we react the way we do as men and women. Now, the feminines operate from the heart space, so they're very emotional. They're able to express very easily because tapping into their feelings, their intuition, without it having to be explained, is just a natural gift of the feminine energy. And then on the opposite end, you have the masculines who are very logical. Now, they're very pragmatic in the sense that they need to apply theory to everything, and this includes the twin flame journey. They need to know that A plus B equals C. They're aware that this is a spiritual, loving, magnetic connection that's happening, but they don't know why or how or where it's going or what the outcome will be. And that's what they're mainly focused on, is this outcome. Now, as the feminine energy, what we do by expecting or being very demanding of the type of communication that we get or the way that we want this connection to go, it's actually fueling that very pragmatic masculine energy. If you want to move out of this energy, is building a very strong mind that shares information in a balanced way that's very gentle and not forced. So if you are experiencing communication with your masculine that is very in and out or choppy, or it doesn't seem that they are giving much, then that is a sign that they're needing that space and that time to react. So by overextending your energy or by being forceful, by trying to pull communication out of them, it causes them to shut down even more, because what you're trying to do is force the emotional side of the masculines that are not there until they're able to build it, adding A plus B equals C. And what you allow them to do is the time to have a clear space of mind in order to think about what's being said or what's being interpreted or what's being perceived. So a great example of that is when you communicate with your masculine or you communicate with your counterpart and they give you a one-word answer, and they continue to give you one-word answers instead of blowing up and sending them that long paragraph of anger and resentment and fear. You can simply be the feminine energy and be still and receive, because intuitively you can feel what your partner is going through by giving those one-word answers, rather than having to force it out of them or having them say it, because the masculines won't be able to express themselves emotionally in that way with words. It's almost like the feminine has this natural ability to do so, and it's frustrating when the masculines can't. But if the feminine energy can understand where that's coming from and understand that they are working off a very logical energy, then it allows us the time to give them the space to work out their formulas, if you will. And when we say what we need to say gently, with using the right words, our most heartfelt expression coming from a place of wanting them to reciprocate understanding, then we have to approach the issue with understanding as well. And it really allows you to expand and grow in that area of communication, because each of you are now working with the type of energy that you were put onto this planet with at the core. And by also saying that, I just want to mention that the body is just the vehicle. You could be in a male body, and at the core of you, at the soul core of you, you experience the feminine energy, and vice versa. Now, when we're working with the predominant expression, we want to work with the woman's energy by being very curious about what she has to say, because if she's having a lot of emotional expression, there's a lot that's going on in the feminine's mind at times, and she can easily express it in words at any given time, versus where the masculines are, they're able to shut out the emotional side of expressing themselves and thinking about it from a more logical way, where this is not real or this hasn't been proven. Whereas the feminines just trust what they feel based off of that intuitive energy. So when we allow ourselves to step into this space of open communication, we're getting rid of a lot of fear and anxiety that takes place when communication happens. I feel like the fear and the anxiety that happens when twin flames are communicating, whether it's through phone, text, I mean, some of you can even feel sometimes that very jittery energy in your stomach and in your hands, and it's like the words are dying to come out and you're afraid of what to say, what not to say. Whenever you're in that energy, use a lot of the deep breathing techniques, using that to calm your nerves, and then listen to your body. If you feel that the conversation is very triggering or that it is going to lead to a miscommunication, then it's okay to step away. Your body will tell you what you need to know when you're communicating with your twin, and you can feel when they are feeling out of balance, because you will also feel that the minute that you start communicating with them. There's a lot to be learned in separation and the time apart, because you actually get to use your superpowers, if you will, to feel and understand what's going on between the both of you by just tuning into your emotions. And a lot of you get the synchronicities and signs as well, so you could really see how it takes you on this path where you know that something very unique is happening. This connection is really a part of you, and it's not something that's outside of you. I would like to ask for particular guidance around this time about the masculine energies. What kind of messages do the angels want to let the feminines know about the masculines? Okay, so life review comes up. So many of them are very quiet and they go silent because there is nothing like the twin flame connection that makes you review this version of reality that we're all living in. And many of us are waking up and we're starting to take action because we're creators. Life isn't really happening to us. Every moment that we are alive and breathing is an opportunity to create the ideal life that you want. But first, stopping and slowing down and really picking apart what doesn't work for you and having the strength and empowerment to walk away from what doesn't serve you, including people, circumstances, situations. And your body, again, will tell you when things aren't right for you. You'll feel sick. A lot of you will feel very ill, very stressed out, very anxiety-ridden. Many of you are suffering with depression, a lot of physical body issues. Your body is telling you everything you need to know about its environment. So now is a good time to take stock of what it is that's going on around you and how it all relates to this twin flame journey that's happening. What's it trying to tell you? I feel like this is where the masculines are at now, and you can see why talking with the feminine is triggering, because they're still dealing with past conversations that you've had, and they're now seeing what you're saying coming into fruition. So sometimes talking and having conversations with you and going deeper into the rabbit hole about how you two feel about each other, they won't come forward and have those conversations. They're emotionally and physically not ready for it. Like, some of them will just go over the edge. They know intuitively how to protect themselves as well as much as we do. Okay? Okay, so sensitivity. So they can often feel when they will be triggered by us, and oftentimes it just takes a sentence or two or a simple conversation with us, or even a feeling when we're not around, to trigger a lot of the imbalance that's going on in their lives. And this is very scary for some of the masculines because, again, with their energy being very logical, having this feeling of being forced to tap into your emotions, it's quite uncomfortable. But little by little, they're starting to appreciate the fact that they're able to tap into this place, because what they're finding is that it's very relaxing for the body. So they're learning to receive the feminine's presence in a more gentle way rather than having it be so intense and triggering. And I think I mentioned that in the last readings about the divine feminine's energy, is that it is just so intense, and it's like as much as he wants to be with you physically and have this version of the 3D relationship, he's going to eventually grow out of the thinking, and his mind will expand to know that this is no ordinary relationship. And that's why so many of you have experienced him being so toxic and not knowing how to cope. It's because he's warping out of what 3D relationships are, and he's learning to stop applying it to the divine feminine. Just go for one more here. Okay, so this is the card of you know what to do. So he's healing right now, and he's being guided by his angels. He's taking time to rest. He's taking time for himself to self-care. A lot of them, I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting into things like yoga, deep breathing, just as much as we are, to help manage their anxiety. And that's why it's important for the feminine to remain in her flowing and emotional space. And earlier on, I mentioned expressing them very gently and communicating with them very gently, because when we feminines communicate very aggressively, or we're very demanding of wanting a certain outcome or expectation, the reason the masculines are very repelled by that is because they can feel the restriction, they can feel the pull of having to transform themselves before they're ready. So they're protecting themselves right now with the guidance of the angels. And just as much as we experience negativity from the masculines also experience negativity from the feminine as well. And sometimes when we experience silence from them, it's the the script flipping, where they now need the time apart to heal and not communicate. So that's why the energies belong to us both, right? Like, I can be in my masculine energies at time, although I resonate with the feminine energy at the core. And I've certainly seen my beastly masculine very much in his feminine energies at times, the more we grow in this connection. Okay, so that wraps those messages up. They are spending time away to heal and to really absorb a lot of what's going on right now through this isolation that all of us globally are feeling at this time. It's growing their ability to connect with the fire or the chi inside of them that they feel. And this sexual energy is very, very powerful at this time. So many of you are also feeling the need to connect sexually. And what this is doing is it's pushing you to energetically open up your mind space about intimacy and sex and what it means for you. And I feel that for many of you, you are having a lot of visions and a lot of experiences on your own, alone, where you're connecting with your twin sexually, and it almost feels like the real deal, or even a little bit better. It's a very euphoric feeling. And I strongly feel that this energy is needed at this time in order to grow the bond between you two, to allow you to see that it's more than just connecting in the physical. There is a lot to be experienced when we feel our twin flame, despite the space and time, because there are so many of us in unique situations, so many of us across the globe separated with our twin, they're living in other countries. Now is the time to have this information with you, my dear twin flames, because it is more than just the physical now, okay? Everyone is in isolation, and there's no way for us to even be physically near our twins, even if we wanted to. Now is the time this information is being put into your hands to let you know that there is so much to connecting using your heart and mind. There is magic waiting to happen. side. So we've got the King of Pentacles here that's leading. The King of Pentacles is very focused on material concepts, so the material world. And I think that many of the masculine energies at this time are placing a lot of emphasis on what's happening around the changes that are going on all over the world. There was a lot of progress in their eyes that was made towards coming closer to the feminine, and with everything that's occurred, especially with the coronavirus, now is where they're starting to tap into their intuition and seeing it as a major sign of everything that's gone on. It's like the closer they come, there are absurd obstacles that are coming into the way. But what this is doing is it's allowing many of us, and not just the masculine energy, all of us all over the world, it's allowing us to see life in a different way. And I feel that it's time for the masculines to really build upon the connection in the material world and bring this into the physical. Because they're so logical, I feel that they need to see the feminine. They need to be with her, touch her, and being put into a space where they physically can't, that is cracking open the heart space for them. Coming closer to her is what's delighting him at this time. And usually when I see the King of Pentacles and I see them wearing the crown, they're very much connected to their headspace and their mind about this. So you could see how they're using their logic and applying it to this twin flame journey, but in a more balanced way now with the King energy. It's coming from a mature place. We have the Six of Wands with him persevering with this passion. That doesn't go away. And that's what the twin flames come to notice. The passion with each other only grows stronger over time. And this is what really pushes him towards that King energy. He can now feel what lights his energy on fire. And this is coming from a place of understanding, from a very strong primal energy within us that speaks truth. What's very important in your life? What matters to you the most? And for many of us, love is one of those things. And when he thinks of love, he thinks of the feminine. And with the 10 of Cups ending this off, I really feel that after this isolation period is over, it is going to bring about a new awareness for the masculine in the heart space. It seems like everything is orchestrated when we really tap into the twin flame journey. And that allows us to relax a little bit more about the outcome. 10 means completion. It's the highest point, the peak, the crowning point. It takes us back to the one of giving birth to a brand new start. So embrace the silence, give space, take your own space, and just flow with the energy, feminines, because there's a lot that's occurring within the masculines, and the change is necessary at this time, so just allow it to occur. I hope this reading finds you all well, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.